Guys. Welcome Akarshan. Welcome Gauravji. Gaurav Dhammani.
Hi Akarshan. Hi
Welcome
Gaurav.
Harshit Dugal. Yeah, one more Dugal brothers, I think.
Yes.
How many brothers do you have? More.
See, I just promoted in on my social media, so the interested ones
Oh,
are
okay.
joining.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
The
Harshit.
traffic
He
might
is
be
your
coming from
brother.
there.
Amol?
Sorry.
Harshit Dugal is your brother?
Yeah. He's my cousin.
Okay, yeah.
He
Nice.
has recently got into digital marketing and he's learning from me. So this session is going to be helpful for him as well.
Okay, great.
He's just into the first year of his college, so I think it's going to be very helpful.
Yeah, great.
So
Hi,
please
Nilesh.
listen to it carefully.
Hi, Nilesh. Hi, Vipul. Anyhow, Subhenduji, I already welcome. I know Subhenduji personally, and he works as a global head of marketing for Signity Technologies. I always
Wow.
feel great that he attends our sessions. I feel very privileged that he attends our sessions most of the time.
Oh, that's
And
great.
Yeah.
Welcome,
He is,
Subhendu ji.
yeah. And welcome Vipulji. I think, guys, we are ready to go. Let's start. And yeah, Raju was telling I'm from Nepal, so no issue with TikTok brothers. Even if I was an Indian guy, by this time I would have downloaded all videos and compiled and upload on YouTube or directly.
Isn't that awesome?
Karan has joined it on Facebook. Karan Parvani. Hi Karan, thank you for joining.
Hi Karan, what's going on?
So that's great. So we'll start with the session. So this before we start, I want to put this like today is a social media day. Actually, we do this hashtag launch on Monday. Every Monday we keep doing this, and we'll try to invite the contributors to the live session and we discuss on specific topics. So I thought anyhow Tuesday is social media day. I thought let me differ a bit and let me move it to Tuesday. So it will be interesting. So that way we have hashtag 3 week. We had contributors like Uma Madhavi, who is into copywriting and content writing. Her hardcore skill and her veteran jam is that thing, and she runs a program also, online program, Content Vidya. Means if you want to know about the program, you can go to her this thing contentvidya.com, and I strongly recommend her programs because she provides a lot of value for the price she's charging. Anyone who is into content writing and who want to pursue a writing career, so the training and all she does a lot. That's a good place to be. And Anmol, I know Anmol from quite last 2 months. We have been interacting a lot personally also. And Anmol runs a digital marketing agency, and he also works as a freelancer, copywriting and other stuff. So I will not do the much of talking about Anmol and Ravi because they are here to tell about themselves more and more. I know, and whatever I know, I'll be telling. And Ravi, I came recently across Ravi from Marketing Wale group, the Akshay Borate's group. So I came to know that he is into copywriting and other stuff. Then I connected with him, and we had a good time talking to each other. So that way Ravi I know, and he is into copywriting, and he's also into training coaches and solopreneurs. That's what I guess. And yeah, and one more person is Savani Sandeep. She's a founder of contentcard.com. Again, she provides writers, and if you want any writers of any kind, any gender, I think she is a go-to kind of girl. So you can rely on her because she is having a lot of writers in her network. Means not in networks, they're working directly with her. So that way, she is also doing a great job. And all these 4 contributors contributing to copywriting is something what I enjoyed and loved. But one challenge was like I gave all of them the topics, and I expected all of them to finish in 400 words. But no one finished in 400 words except Ravi was a bit closer. And I thought, see, what am I expecting? Am I greedy? Am I greedy to expect like copywriters to write less words before they make it to a point or give a CTA? We saw like good copywriters, what they do is, good copywriters always what they do is they try to prolong that the time delay. They will try to maintain the time delay before they actually pitch in and say, "Yeah, here we go. Click on this." So that's what somehow Uma Madhavi has given me a very long content, but it is very useful. So I thought I will publish it. And Savani also had bit long form, but I think Ravi's was the shortest form content. But yeah, that also was really effective. Like you were asking about the feedback and all. There's no doubt about feedback. You all guys are in the game and you know that. So it's not about just the feedback. I thought through hashtag I want to introduce people of different capacities. See, a whole idea of niche marketers is like if you're able to bring people with niche expertise at one place, and we tell this guy's niche, then there is some relatability and people come and actually, yeah, okay, Ravi is known for copywriting and some other things like landing pages, whatever it is. Like that's the reason. Whole idea of putting the niche marketers and combining that topic with hashtag is that's the whole idea.
Okay,
So
Gordon,
now,
let me pitch in here. I like to I'd like to add in about the benefits that I have had due to your website nichemarketers.in. So as Ravi, you were asking about the feedback. So for Govardhan's website, I have got 3 to 4 people asking me about my services just because they saw my profile on nichemarketers.in. And some of the people they find me in the group and they ask me, yes, I saw your profile there, so can you help us with it, can you help us with that? So you are doing a great job, Govardhan, collecting all people together. I know about you since 2 months.
I did not. You did not tell me personally this thing. That's surprising.
I wanted to tell
planning
you
to give you a surprise.
Yeah, happy social media day, Govardhan.
Thank
So
you.
the thing is, I know about your vision since last 2 months, and we have been working together to build this thing slowly and steadily. So kudos to you. We all are doing great work together, and let's make this community a greater place for expertise. So that's it from my side. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anmol. That's really that makes me like with all the hard work I have been doing from the last 2 to 3 months. So we are not monetizing this anyway. There's a lot of efforts going into a lot of time. Frankly, when I started that niche marketers group and website, this group, I thought it will only take me 1 or 2 hours a day. But I am thinking right now, like it's taking a lot more than what I am expected actually. So, but still I don't want to stop here because I believe that in India we don't have a community where all the marketers can come together and they can work collaboratively instead of competitively.
Right.
That's the whole thought process I have because we are a competition to each other. I agree with you, but still we can collaborate. See, many a times it happens that the service we are not going to do everything, and in future if you say मैं digital marketing करता हूँ सब कर देता हूँ तो then they will say हाँ ठीक है भैया तुम जहाँ पे होता है because that type of services people ask that type of clients there is a different category. And as marketers, I think we don't want to be there. We want to be working with clients who really know marketing, who really understand marketing. That is where we all want to go as a marketer, as marketers. So yeah, enough of talking. And
I always give an example, just a short example that I want to give. That a lot of people might have heard about it as well. That whenever you have a stomach pain, right? You'll want to go to a specialist for that. You don't want to go to a physician or any general doctor for that. So that's what niche marketers is all about, guys.
Yes, agree with you. Agree with you, Anmol. And Ravi, now I want to start with Ravi about copywriting. So Ravi, like many people know content writing. So most of them right now joining this session also, some people know like what's copywriting. But what do you think, like people who want to pursue copywriting as their main niche? So what do you think? What do you advise them? What are the benefits and what are the pros? What are the cons? And what do you think? Who can get into it and who can't get into it? There are many questions, but still I'm leaving it open-ended because you can summarize the way you want it to.
Got it. Cool. See, so I'll tell you how I got into copywriting, okay? And what I feel is the best place or the best spot to be in when you finally realize that maybe copywriting is something that you should pursue or you can pursue, right, as a career. Okay? I think first you've got to have the love for writing in general, right? If you don't love writing, you probably would not end up being the best copywriter out there. Okay. Now writing has a lot of forms. Okay, it's long copy, it's short copy, and all of that. But copywriting, when you talk about that, there are basically two kinds, and I've worked in both the kinds. Right? There's brand copywriting, there's direct response copywriting. I don't know if you guys have a clear understanding between the two, but the only difference is, a call to action. Okay, when we talk about a direct response copywriting, it comes with a call to action. When we talk about brand copywriting, it doesn't necessarily have a call to action. It does not mostly have a call to action. So who can get in copywriting field? One, you have to have the love for writing. That's one. The other thing is you need to start practicing stuff, right? So for example, if you read more, you start. Even today, what happens is some days when I read through newspapers or magazines or maybe articles, if I like those headlines, I write it down in my copy, or I probably write it down in my keep notes, right? If you are someone who does that, you've got a knack, or you're probably attracted towards great headlines, and you want to keep like a swipe files of that, right? So these small activities, no matter how small these may sound at this moment, but eventually it's shaping you or leading you towards a career that is copywriting. Okay. And so I think once you have understood that interest of yours, that's where you should give a shot, and you should figure out, okay, whether this is something for you or not. Okay. Now, some people who wants to get into digital marketing and or copywriting, thinking that it's the most paid skill, right? And therefore, I should go about it, which is fine because you haven't explored writing as a career option up till now, but because you were kind of attracted to it, maybe because of the money, maybe because of anything. Okay, I don't care. But once you got into it, are you enjoying that process or not? Are you reading enough or not? Are you writing enough or not? Because eventually it's copywriting. You have to write sales copy, right? So how many sales copy do you read in a week? Okay. Yeah. How many sales letters you read in a week? How many landing pages you read in a week?
Yeah.
Right. And then how many copies do you write on your own? Just for the heck of it, not to give it to your client. Maybe you won't have clients when you're starting out, but are you writing those copies or not? It's a simple game. If you're doing that, and that means you're doing it out of love. If you're writing copies without thinking that, hey, I'm not going to get paid for this, so why the hell am I writing? What happens is we get into the game, we start chasing clients like anything. Oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can do funnels, I can do stuff, I can do emails and stuff. But when we are sitting idle, do we think about writing copies or not?
Yeah, that's very, very important characteristic you mentioned, because the passion is very, very important. Like I always tend to get into organic way. I generally don't get into paid. Paid marketing has its own advantages, but myself, what I always believe is always brand yourself personally, give value, provide value. So you will be an authority and you will be selling one day. That's what I actually want, and that's what I implemented a lot. So like you mentioned, that passion is very important. And many people think, one more thing to add is, many people think copywriting, to become a good copywriter, you need to be a hi-fi English guy. That's generally a myth. And that's what I know. It's not that you need to use that fancy English words and all. Generally, good copywriters say that your copy should be as simple as possible, that a 8th class or 7th class guy should be able to understand. And most of the people
if you can make copy that people read, doesn't matter what you're doing, what grammatical, doesn't matter. If your audience is reading through it, okay, like waiting on that and reading through it, you have hit the right spot.
Yeah. So apart from that, Ravi, what do you think? Like copywriting in India, what I observed is, like, we all have a grammar. The grammar is a bit of problem language wise, and I'm also not very perfect. When it comes to US clients or UK clients, so if anytime you have worked with such type of clients, or if you know someone who's working with them, so do those guys raise any objections on the language, or like how do you deal with that? Anything specific you have?
So what I'll tell you, what happens is the normal processes. either you reach out to clients or clients reach out to you in any case, right? So for example, what either you are posting a lot of good stuff in groups where your ideal clients hang out, and they reach out to you and they say, hey, do you think you would be able to write a sales page copy for me or not? Or hey, I'm probably running a retargeting sequence, but I don't know what the communication is supposed to be, right? I have my first ad ready and I'm doing it, but my retargeting sequence is not working pretty well, and I figure that that might be a copywriting problem. Do you think you can help me out? These are all inbound leads, which means they're only inbound because they think you are an expert in that field or you have some bit of an understanding in what you're doing. But in a case where nobody knows you, nobody has any idea who you are, you haven't done any value post or whatever, now it's time for you to reach out to potential clients. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you reach out to potential clients, the first thing that they ask for is a sample copy. Okay, show me your sample copy, right? So, and this is very important. So what happens is when I started looking for clients like that, and I was like, I did not have a sample copy. I did not have a sample copy. Okay. And I was like, maybe we should get on a call or something. I tried avoiding it a little bit, but then I realized this is what you're supposed to do. You have to give them a sample of copy. And it does not even have, so of course, for some people, they'd be like, hey, we do not have clients, so we haven't had a copywriting client so far, right? So how do we write copy samples? It's okay. You don't need to have, that's the best part of it. Let's say you figure out 10 people that you want to work with, international. You go out to their page, you check whether they're running ads or not. You can figure that out through page transparency. Okay? And when you see the copy of their ads, copy it and put it in a Word document and then paraphrase it. Write your own version of it. How would you write if you were supposed to write the copy for that particular ad? Okay.
Yeah.
Do this like twice or thrice a week. Make a sample copy like that, and then say, this is my sample copy, and also be honest about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't had a client or I haven't had an international client so far, but I am kind of giving myself a chance for maybe next 30 days to see whether I can pull this off or not. And I'm looking for copywriting because I feel I'm really, really comfortable there. And this goes without saying, but I would want to work with you without any monetary exchange, right? The only thing that I ask for is your feedback. And if you like my work, a sweet testimonial.
Yeah, okay. That's really great inputs, Ravi. And apart from that, like if you are into landing page copywriting, like how does it fetch in the money part or monetarily if you are a good landing page copywriter? Because landing pages are generally their sales pages, most of them. So they try to sell something, and their copywriting comes into play. And I also seen many landing pages which are like 30-page Word document. That kind of landing pages are also there. And some people even write landing pages which are quite smaller, but they convert. And some landing pages use only a video to do the most of the talking. And some landing pages have that level of this thing. So, do you think there is demand for that landing page copywriting thing right now? And
big time.
How is the scenario right now? Any experiences or any thoughts on that?
So even today I got on a call and a lady wanted me to check out her landing page and give me feedback on that.
Okay.
Now see, what happens is in India we're now shifting towards the funnel mindset, and we figured it out. Us marketers, most of them, we kind of anticipated it, right? People do not have funnel mindset right now in the Indian market, but because it's already there in the Western side, it's going to come in India, and it's going to be there for a while. And therefore, there's going to be a lot of demand for copywriting. That goes without saying. Okay. There, people ask for funnel copy. Okay. Western, if you go in the US market, they say, we're going to launch our funnel, and therefore we need somebody to write funnel copy. Okay. And so what is the funnel? Then you, as a copywriter, you have to ask, tell me how many pages am I supposed to write? What are those pages? Okay, because you got to have clarity around that. And so a basic funnel would be what? A 3-page funnel, an opt-in, a sales page, and a thank you page.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you'd be like, okay, let's say an opt-in page is I don't know. There are different versions of it. So some opt-in pages are small. Some opt-in pages usually it's supposed to be small only, right? Where there's minimum viable information, but it's catchy and it's encouraging and it's inspiring user to put in their details. And then there's sales page, which is going to be long. But if you're talking about like huge as long pages, okay, long as pages where there's a lot of stuff, but what happens is there's a lot of repetition as well. You would see sections repeating. If you have seen Dan Loke's page, he has a 7-week program or something. If you haven't, you should check it out. I download a lot of landing pages for my reference because I love to read them. And what I don't have a practice of is writing those sales pages, because when I'm starting from scratch, I want to be enough time frame. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to write. This is otherwise what happens is, and I don't want any reference at that point. I just want a Word document in front of me and my mind going crazy with the words and stuff like that. That is the position that I want to achieve, which I am not at right now. Right? Where I am at is I open a Word document, but I'll open 10 different tabs. Right? To research for the copy. Right? And so I'm like, okay, yeah, from this landing page, I like this particular bit. So how can I sort of, put this angle in my existing clientele landing page? So that is where I am at right now. I'm sorry, what was the question that we were talking about? Is there demand or not? Is there demand or not? There's going to be a lot of demand. And landing page, especially sales page, is the page for which clients pay good amount of money. Okay, because that is where the purchase decision is supposed to happen. That is where.
Yeah, please go on. Please go on.
Yeah, so that is where your content has to really encourage your visitor to purchase. Okay, the purchase decision is supposed to happen on the sales page.
Yeah.
Right. And therefore, the copy has to be very engaging. It needs to hit the right spot. And it's not that the first thing that you would create will hit the right spot. You have to experiment. Okay. So you might end up creating 3 different versions of long sales page copy. And people pay good amount for that. Like minimum, I'm saying they're going to be ready for $1,000, $1,500 at least.
That's a huge amount for a one page, but of course, it's not an easy skill. Everyone can't do that. And one more thing,
it takes time.
Takes time, and it's one more thing. What I observed with sales landing pages is understanding and knowing the product very well will help a lot because most of the people don't do that exercise, and even clients don't share enough of information about that. That is one more challenge. What happens is when clients will think when you offload the work, most of the clients are like, "Kaam unko de diya na, wo dekh lenge." That's how some clients think.
But there is a way around that. Okay, there is a way around that. What happens is now, for example, if I'm a marketer who's just coming in the market right now, and I'm like, yeah, I just need clients. I need clients, and I need to make money and stuff like that. Okay, I'm in that mindset. I need projects, and I start getting inquiries on Messenger saying that, hey, can you help me build a website? Or can you help me build a landing page? And I'm like, yeah, I can build one for you. That's not a problem. Okay, please share your number. Fair enough. I'll give my number. They'll get on a call. We'll discuss for 1 hour on that call. Then I'll follow up. Then again, like, let's say in a week, I spend 2-3 hours persuading the client to give me the project. Assume that. And then what we are discussing on those calls is just normal stuff. Okay, I'm asking certain questions that I need to know. It's not recorded at all. It's just trying to understand what client really wants out of that website or a landing page. But that's a wrong approach. That's a very wrong approach. What happens is before you get on a call with your client, the questions need to be answered from the client. You have to give those questions right away. Otherwise, don't get on a call. It's a waste of your time.
Pre-qualifying the client, that's kind of thing.
Pre-qualifying the clients, if you have win the onboarding part of it, that's where you will have a really great understanding of who they are trying to reach and what their product is or what their offer is. Makes sense, Anmol?
They'll share a couple of links along with that.
totally agree with you, but I would like to just change one word to it as to what Govardhan asked. Govardhan started with the question about the product research. I would call it the audience research. Audience research needs to
Yes,
be done first. The problem of
true.
the target market, the desires, the wishes,
Very
the dreams,
important. Yeah.
right? The pain points that they have. So we need to find out those first, and then we need to craft an offer for the client in such a way that those problems are getting solved, and the person who is going to buy the product, he should be getting about 10 times the value from the offer that we will be building for them. So that's the kind of
True.
approach I use when I start separately from the audience research thing. And even in the contribution that I have made in the magazine, I have mentioned this point pretty clearly, that this thing needs to be done. This is the first thing, the most important
Of
thing that
course.
needs to be done.
Of course.
Anmol,
Makes
anyhow,
sense. Makes total sense.
I wanted to ask your opinion on this landing page. Anyhow, we're
Yeah.
talking with Ravi on the same stuff. So on the landing page, what else you want to add about this landing page copywriting?
Okay,
What
so I'll give a brief introduction of how I got introduced to copywriting, and I would like to appreciate what Ravi said about the process of discovering that you are going to become a copywriter first. So
Yeah.
some of the people may be wanting to learn copywriting, so I think my experience would help as well. So since 2016, I started blogging. As a hobby, I started to learn digital marketing in general. I was trying a lot of things at
Right.
that time. But then
True.
slowly and steadily, I started writing blog posts, and when I started promoting them to the US audience, to audience outside of India as well, and so I started getting feedback about the quality of content. They started appreciating me for the quality of the content.
Quality of the content. True.
Yeah. I figured out that okay, this might be my strong point. I was not very confident at that time about this, but still I started reading more blogs, and I started discovering the process of how should I write better articles, not copy first, better blog articles. So I discovered that there should be a proper approach. Like we should be outlining certain stuff first before getting into writing the nittier grittier details of whether a blog article or a copy for a landing page. So
Right.
that is how I started my journey. I found my strong point about 3-4 years back. And then, as Ravi mentioned, that I had that interest in me somewhere. I didn't know the name was copywriting to it. So I was just
Right.
reading more blog posts. I was trying to write more. And the
Right.
irony is that while I was, consuming all these stuff, I was not creating any copy. Though people had
Yeah.
appreciated me for this,
Yeah.
skill of mine, but I was running away from writing blog articles. I didn't start a blog for about 2 to 3 years. I have started it, just now, about a few weeks back, again for my
Right.
personal branding thing.
Right.
But I have worked on direct response copywriting, as Ravi also mentioned, as Govardhan you also do. So there I started learning more about, okay, copywriting is a separate thing. Copywriting is actually an art to sell through the power of written words. You need to
Right.
understand the human psychology, the human emotions that drive people to take action. So
Right.
these can be negative emotions like fear of missing out. We see a lot of time, the sale is
True.
ending, so people just go and just buy the product. So these kind of
Right.
elements, I figured those out. And then coming back to your question, Govardhan, about the landing page, the long form landing page, these human psychological elements need to be added on into the page. So at some point we need to tell people the story. At some point we need to add the testimonials to build our social proof, and we need to add some numbers as to how many people we have helped. And then there is a
Hmm.
point where we need to add the guarantee, the 30-day refund or 60-day refund part, where people
Right.
feel that okay, they don't have anything to lose. So these are, and when you mentioned one more point as well, that people are repeating sections, right? That thing is called stacking. Like it can be bonus stacking or value
Yeah.
stacking. So when
Yeah.
person
Correct.
scrolls down the page, they know that okay, I'm getting this much value, this much value, this much value. So that cumulative effect of
Right.
saying yes, 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 this is the thing for me, this is the thing for me.
Increases. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
that's how copywriters think. And if somebody wants to start learning copywriting, then these certain elements need to be mastered first, along with
Of course.
the craft of targeting human emotions. So that's my take
Of
on
course.
the long form copy.
So Anmol, are you following any copywriter in particular? Any copywriting guru or anyone?
Yeah.
Whom you like?
So firstly, before I figured out who my guru would be, I learned about copywriting from a website called copyhackers.com. Okay, so anybody who's listening, they can refer to that website. And I would like to mention one very helpful, very helpful, technique to write better copy, and that is by using copywriting frameworks. Okay, so Copy
Right.
Hackers has that framework where people can use certain frameworks to write copy that will help achieve a certain objective.
Right.
And the guru part, I have been learning from books. Like there is a book by Joseph Sugarman, Adweek, a copywriting handbook. And then there is a book called
Writing
Triggers.
handbook, yeah.
And then there is a book called Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards, whose foreword has been written by.
How is that, Jim Edwards?
I have,
to buy that.
yeah. I am also, dying to buy that one. Why I'm mentioning that book is because I read the preview of that book. A certain certain number of pages between the book. I found it, very helpful just in the preview as well. So I'm thinking how great the copy would be inside the book.
Yeah.
So anybody, yeah.
That's like a copywriter.
Sorry.
That's like a real copywriter, I'm saying.
Exactly. The book is selling itself. The preview is selling itself, right? The preview is selling the book. And other than that, the Gaurav Madan, I don't know how many people know about him. Gaurav Madan is a great, marketer. And I started learning from him recently in the last year, since August 2019. So before learning from him, I had already understood that copywriting is something which needs to be taken seriously, along with funnel building and along with paid traffic. So I was I was shying away from paid traffic since last year. I was never invested into the idea of paid traffic. But when I learned about direct response copywriting, I knew that, okay, now advertisements have to come in the picture. So that guy and my vision actually aligned in terms of the three basic things that are necessary for digital marketing in today's world. Gaurav Madan calls it digital marketer version 2, and he's already working on creating some kind of a website for that. So those three things that everybody needs in today's world, whether it be a personal brand or a business venture, are sales funnel and email marketing. Then the second thing is copywriting. And third thing is paid ads. Paid ads, the source can be anything. It can be Facebook ads, Google ads, Bing ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, depending upon your business objective. So I have learned all these three things from Gaurav Madan as well, after I found out that, yes, these things were necessary, and after I had made some efforts on my part to discover that whether they are going to be helpful for me or not.
Okay, that's great. And I also had one guy whom I did check some guys, but one guy is there called Nivelle Medora, and he has a website called KOPY Copy KOPI.
Okay.
Copywriting KOURS course, and
copywriting course. Yeah.
He also has
I've been to that website. Yeah.
And that also I shared in the magazine, and I have pulled out some interesting stuff. I can't say in hashtag whatever is there, it will be very useful to the advanced copywriters. Like it can be useful to someone who is budding up. And anyhow, whatever you people wrote, like four of the contributors, that can definitely help the people who are at one level. So apart from that, Anmol, one more question I have for you is, like, you are into email marketing as well as copywriting.
Yeah.
So what's your take on email marketing and copywriting? So how does it go? And in email, like I also used email marketing, copywriting, and I got a lot of benefit from it. Like I used to generate a lot of sales from that. So how do you think that email marketing, copywriting, what's your take? What do you want to share about how important is copywriting on email?
The importance is huge. The importance is huge for anybody listening, because the process again starts from the landing page, actually the lead magnet page or the opt-in page that we develop. So first of all, when we are writing copy for that page, we would have done our own audience research, right? That if we are writing a lead magnet, like on my website currently I have a lead magnet for sales funnels. Okay, so when I am building a lead magnet for sales funnels, I have discovered my audience that this is going to be someone who is trying to build a sales funnel but is facing problems. Right. So with my lead magnet, I am tempting that person to, at least learn about only the 5 sales funnel that they need for their business. So after that, if the person, downloads it, then I start sending him emails. Now, the first email obviously should be the welcome email, which has the highest response rate, right? Highest open rate. And in the welcome email, this one thing might help, a lot of people that I do, that I add PS sections in my emails. Okay, and the PS section actually kind of includes it is kind of an open loop. So I don't just end the conversation in my first email. I leave something for the person to be curious about that what is going to come the next day. So this thing encourages more and more open rates, and I have tried this. Sorry,
open rates, engagement, they reply back.
Yes. So and I have tested this thing out when I was trying to do affiliate marketing. Actually, I started learning copywriting, funnel building, and email marketing and all for affiliate marketing. So I wanted to have a passive side income for myself, and that is why I started learning all the skills that are necessary. So to my luck, only three skills were needed, which I mentioned earlier: copywriting, email marketing, sales funnels, and Facebook ads or paid traffic. So with these emails, when there is an open loop, people get to the end of the conversation, and then we get the sale. So I would like to share an example that in October 2019, I was running a diabetes blog. I had already shared that with Govardhan. I have no experience about diabetes, but there was a product which taught people how to have control over the diabetes thing. So that product told them about the real reason about diabetes. So I researched that product pretty carefully first before promoting it to the people. But then when I started promoting it, since it was a pressing problem for people, and my copy it was more personal towards how it can save you from certain things that people with diabetes face. So when I targeted the right emotions, then obviously I got a few sales from my email marketing as well. So I think that answered your question, Govardhan. Is there anything specific that you want me to answer?
Yeah. It's quite clear. Like I want to get your view on, like, because copywriting is not just landing page emails. Like everywhere, like you can try to influence when you're not trying to just creating a product description or something like that. Or else everywhere, I think copywriting can be used, because whenever I write, what I do is I have a habit. I'm not very good writer, like especially for the language part. But what I do is I always think in the perspective of who is going to read it, and what my goal is, and what is my goal with that writing. If we have these things in mind, I think any copywriter who want to do that should have that in mind. What's the end goal you are going to reach, and you should always talk the language of the person who is reading it, not the person who is writing it. So that's conversational. That conversational is one thing. Sometimes we try to see the things from the eyes of ourselves through our lens. But once you try to see from the other's point of view, like you mentioned some interesting topics on a landing page, we say that we try to repeat these are the benefits. We are repeating and trying to recall again and again, and we try to compare three products. That's called the decoy effect, where one product is being shown which is very expensive and not useless, no features. One product is cheap but no features. One product is like medium, and that's what we want people to buy. And everyone uses it, Get Response or other softwares. What they do, this is most popular. They will write most popular. So to get that effect of highly sold, Amazon says Amazon best product. What is it? Amazon's there is one wording they use. Amazon recommended or something like that.
Recommendations is also there. Best sellers is also there.
Recommended, like kind of things. And at the end of the day, you also clear the doubts, like money back guarantee if you are not satisfied. And you also put that logos, the credit card logos, safe, security, tala laga ke, सब देंगे, because we want to
address that 100% satisfaction ka thappa also.
We want to address everything, every problem, whatever, every question that may come in their minds. We want to address everything. So that way, I think copywriting, any person who has to be a good copywriter should be a good person who knows to study psychology or human thinking. If you are at that level, I think
he should be a listener, to be exact. He should listen to his audience.
Listener, and if added to that, if you has a psychological that skills of analyzing people, human behavior, that will add a lot, because there you will be going to the other level, not like implementation level. You will be at like inventing level, innovation level there. So
I usually refer to this thing as empathy. I mean, if as a person you have an empathy towards somebody, then while writing copy, that's going to reflect automatically. one definition that I am very fascinated about, copywriting. There is a comparison which is actually quite true, that copywriting is actually salesmanship in print. Okay, I'm repeating this line. Copywriting is salesmanship is in print. When a salesperson goes door by door and he tries to sell some product to one person, he can see the reaction of the person, and he can change his next line based on that behavior. But with copywriting, you need to know all the objections that a customer might have in his mind. That's the power of research. That's where research comes in. So with copywriting, you need to have that research, and then your every line should uh, motivate the person to read the next line. It should be like a slippery slide, right? The person should go from one line to the next. The purpose of every line is to take the person to the next line, and ultimately he or she will be at the
CTA.
towards the CTA.
Yeah. So Ravi,
I have a question. If you guys don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Please.
Okay. So I want to understand how do you guys do audience research? For example, if you're supposed to write copy for a certain, let's say, landing page, okay, or maybe even a Facebook ad, okay, how do you guys try to understand what audience is talking about that particular product that you're supposed to sell, or that particular service that you're supposed to sell? Is there a procedure that you follow, or how do you go about it?
Let's take Govardhan takes on it first, and then I'll add in later.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, audience thing, like Ravi, why actually initially when we are talking, I told about knowing the product first. Product in the sense, in my mind, what was going on is, if some company has made a product or a service, so they had some buyer persona in their mind. There is some target audience in their mind. If they do not make it like that, then however you struggle for the copy and all, I think that will again that may drive sales, but it will again backfire because the product itself is very bad. So what I do is, that's the reason I try to understand the product and really who is it going to cater to. This product or service is helpful to whom. If we understand that and we exactly right for that person, and for the research part, how we know about the audience is, I don't think I don't want to know about the audience in total. I want to know about the audience connection with that product or service. Like how are they rated? What are the pain points? Because product is not a product for the sake of selling. The product exists because there's a problem is existing. So I want to go into that problem kind of atmosphere. I want to spend more time there to understand what is the problem, what is the pain point. Like, let us assume people are trying to, there is an area where they have a lot of mosquitoes, and the problem is they have to deal with mosquitoes a lot. So there, what type of solution they are looking for? Sometimes there, if in your copy, if you write, I think life will be so beautiful without mosquitoes. I'll write that line. So that guy now will jump immediately and laugh out, because that relates very well with his life, though it's not directly related to the product. So that way, I want to understand his problems first and talk that language. That means that is my kind of approach.
Got it.
I don't want to I'll not get into much details there. That's my approach, where I always try to think from this point only. I don't go into analytics. I don't go into other keyword research. Nothing. I do that way. Mostly I do that. Yes, Anmol, you want to add something?
Yeah. So I think what Govardhan you said can be summarized in this one line, that benefits sell, features don't, or emotions sell. Then people justify that with the logic, right? So to answer Ravi's question, let me share with you an incident where I was researching about the pain points related to a yoga mat. Okay, yoga mat is a simple product. Everybody knows what a yoga mat does, but for writing copy, it was very challenging. So the yoga mat thing, okay, Ravi, what I do generally before writing copies, going on to Amazon or e-commerce platforms where similar products are being sold. Then I go into the review section and I find out what language are people using to describe their problems. I mainly go on to the 5-star reviews and the 1 or 2-star reviews. So there was a review from a person that the yoga mat was not thick enough. Okay, so I found out that thickness is a feature that people want, but I still didn't
Right.
find out what is the importance of this thickness. I mean, why do they want this thickness to
Right.
be? Then
Right.
in some of the comments I found out that due to the thinner mat, they used to face knee pain. They used to have a knee pain. Okay, or
Of course.
or the people who already had knee pain, they kind of
Right.
faced it difficult with that yoga mat, and those were the people who
True.
gave that review. So what I did was I converted that pain point into a benefit, like thick yoga mat that prevents knee pain. Okay, so
Awesome.
there is a feature
Awesome.
and then there is a benefit. So that's how I combine
True.
feature and benefits in one line. So that's just one of
Awesome.
the techniques, right? When everybody when anybody goes deep into copywriting, so these things kind of come slowly and steadily, how to make this point better. So that's
Makes sense.
how I go about it.
And I think that's a really good approach. Both of your approaches are really good, but I like Anmol's, to be more calculative there, because what I feel is, why go looking for words in your own mind when the words are already available out there, right?
Right.
And
Earlier it used to be very difficult, when the internet
yeah,
was not there and people had to send survey
yeah.
forms and
Earlier it used to be very. Then you had to do focus groups and stuff like that,
right.
right? Where you talk to 7 potential consumers and then try to understand that it's all recorded, and then you try to analyze the whole conversation and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But then today we already have people talking about it on the internet everywhere, in Reddit, in Quora, everywhere you see, consumer reviews by the minute. So many
Yeah,
reviews by the minute
getting a lot of
for a
them.
product that you want to sell, right?
Mm.
And then that's where you catch the lingo of that consumer. Okay, this is the lingo that they're using. This is what they're concerned about. This is their pain point. We can probably convert that into a benefit, like how Anmol did. And, this is their desired outcome with that
Yes.
particular product. So how can we show that desired outcome in our sales page? Or maybe how can we create a hook out of it and show it in our Facebook ad copy, stuff like that. And so I follow a similar approach as Anmol. And if I'm trying to sell a service, I try to first understand who else is selling that service. And then I
Right.
go to their reviews. Maybe there's a course around that on Udemy. So maybe I try to understand what reviews are in that particular course or something, right? Has anybody created a course around that service?
Description, you'll get the copy, right?
Yeah, description also is pretty great. Some people, they've already done a lot of research before they've launched stuff that you're launching in the market. So all you need to do is see and, try to understand whether that resonates with your audience or not. In most cases it will, but it's not that I'm asking you to copy paste it. It's just that I want you to get inspired
Right.
from that copy, and then add your voice into it, and then set a tone, and then talk to your audience.
True.
That will create a differentiation.
Yeah.
I read
So
somewhere
great. I mean,
that the copywriting is like clever compilation. It's a clever compilation where
yeah.
you have to compile, because you can't, you don't know everything, and you have to compile,
Yeah.
and you have to gather data about the product from different sources, and you cleverly compile it. That's where I read it somewhere recently.
Yeah,
Where
There is a similar quote on art, or I can frame it in copywriting as well, that great copywriters steal, right? Average
yeah.
copywriters they try to create everything on their own, but great copywriters steal
Right.
from the elements of already the legends. So
Right.
that's always better.
actually,
Why to reinvent the wheel again and again when people have
Anmol
already done
and
it?
Ravi, I think this discussion is really interesting, and I guess we can go many hours long. But yeah, we have to come to
Our time is up.
the time is running out fast, and I think many people
Yeah.
have joined here, and I don't know, some of them had their dinner or not, but I had my chapati with cabbage curry and all, so I am kind of
Yeah.
full, so I don't have a problem. But people who are joined there, we have to think about them also. And one
Sure
thing
thing.
is
Sure
that,
thing.
for now we guys know there are two copywriters, not two, we have four, but two are in the live sessions.
4 copies.
So,
There could be even more. Yeah.
in the group,
Yeah.
in our niche marketers group, if anyone has a question on that and all, on copywriting, please shoot, and we are there to answer.
Yeah.
In niche marketers,
Are there any
Feel free to ask
Are there any
anything. Yeah.
questions on Facebook, Govardhan? I mean, in the Facebook group, I'm not checking that. So, how are people responding on the Facebook group?
Yeah. Let me check. Right now, not any questions, but people are listening to that. So we have some questions here also. But before going to any questions and all, I would like to tell there is some announcement regarding niche marketers, which we'll be revealing in couple of minutes to make niche marketers more and more engaging and more of a community. So we are just 240 members, but I am very proud that we have really right kind of people over here. Because I'm very choosy and picky while getting the members in, because I want serious people to be in. That's all. Nothing else that we're trying to boast something or anything like. Because when we have the right kind of people, I think lot of things can happen very fast. We don't need a 50,000 member group to make things happen. Because this group is only 240 people. From this group, I have built around 550 to 600 email subscribers. And after launching hashtag and doing this type of live sessions, webinars with you, with people like you, because they're adding value, so people are joining. So that's the reason. And we are not trying to sell something here. See, selling will happen automatically when people know that you have that value in you. When the right requirement comes, they will come to you. And that's the power of inbound marketing, which I practice a lot. And today I'm very glad that I have you people here. Ravi, actually,
we're glad to be here as well.
Yeah,
Ravi, I request very fast because we did not interact a lot before, but I connected with him. Generally, what I do is I first connect with people and try to talk to them first, understand them personally, and then we'll talk about this thing. I'll clearly explain my vision towards niche marketers and all. So here for niche marketers, what we have today is that already we are here and we'll be launching this sometime soon. And so what one step which I took is I have pre-approved people who have been contributing to niche marketers from quite some time. I pre-approved them, so giving them some opportunity as well as responsibility. We all know that getting pre-approved in a group is like a double-edged knife and all. There again, like it can be here and it can be there. So everyone knows, everyone who is whom I'm approving or anyone is there, they're quite mature enough. They know, and that also will give them a responsibility to add more value to the group. That way, I'm also a bit selfish, but at the same time, I want to empower the community. And I always, as I'm saying, this community is not just about me; it's about all the people in the group. So together, how we should grow. That's the only direction I'm looking at. And I have approved around 17 people. Like I approved all the people who contributed to hashtag magazine in the last editions as well as this edition. And apart from that, some people were contributing some posts and all. Then we have one more thing. This thing is I'm adding 2 moderators to the group. One is Bhairappaga John and Trinad Nagella. These are my associates, and we have been associated from the last 1 year. They are also in Hyderabad. So today I think John is not able to join because he was traveling. But Trinad is there, so I would like to give Trinad voice and camera so that he can speak.
Hey Trinad.
Hi Trinad, how are you?
Trinad, if you're able to switch on your cam and speak, would like to hear from you.
Hello guys.
Yes, he's joining.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, we're all good. How are you?
Fine, yeah.
And to introduce about Trinad is working with BSNL, and he's into digital marketing and sales, I guess. That's what I know from his this thing.
Correct.
Awesome.
And he is the president of Digital Marketing Club Hyderabad, which was actually the initiative of Deepak Kanagaraju. So he was running the club for the chapter for 1 year, approximately 1 year.
Yeah,
and
1 year.
We actually met and we started interacting a lot, and we did a lot of things together. And so I'm very happy that I'm announcing him as a moderator. It's not just a moderator, but he will be supporting the group and niche marketers on a whole, on an initiative. So Trinad, just want to know your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
On niche marketers.
Thank you, Govardhan. Thank you for giving me this chance. And I need to tell you that this is the brainchild of Govardhan. We were traveling a lot for club meetings, and we were discussing so many things. What is happening in Hyderabad, and we were unable to get a solution. So we thought niche marketers is a solution where we are bringing all the marketers together and to give a solution, which people are unable to get. So based on this, I think there is long way to go ahead, and we will be connecting together, and will be the one goal, the one theme which we are working is always team together. Everyone achieve more. So
Right.
I think
Yes.
we will achieve more, definitely. Thank you,
Totally.
Gautam. Thank you for giving
Of
this
course,
opportunity to me.
Thank you, Trinad. Trinad is a very big, very good team player, and he's very good at networking and all. So he connects with a lot of people, and also he loves connecting with people. So that's the reason I actually wanted Trinad to come in. I was also working on the framework and all, how to take this community together. Of course, with this community, we'll be having some monetary initiatives also, but that doesn't mean that we will be sidelining the whole purpose of the community. So for any community to grow and become bigger, there should be some monetization happening. So it will happen, but it will be happening in a very subtle way, and it will not be impacting anyone negatively. I can say that, and we are not going to change our values and integrity at any point of time, because I believe that personal branding and integrity, that goes for a lifetime. It's not like it's going to it's a 6 months game or a 1 year game. So I believe that way, and I also believe that uh, by uh, by that 1 + 1 is equal to 11. That's everyone. It's a small thing, but I believe in it very, very strongly, and that's the reason I actually reached out. I'm reaching out to people to get featured on niche marketers and send their profiles and all. Anmol was the person who initially responded to that, and we put his profile over there. Right now, I just paused it. I'm not doing actively, but yeah, people who come there, I'll welcome them there also. So apart from that, one more initiative. Right now, I already announced about this pre-approval thing. So I kind of pre-approve many people. So you can see if you're approved or not by just posting in the group. Hi niche marketers, simply. If you're pre-approved, it automatically gets posted. So that way you will see if you're pre-approved, and I'll be pre-approving more and more people. And anyone who's adding value, I don't mind pre-approving them. I think that's a good thing for the group also. Then apart from that, one more thing what I'm thinking is about having a weekly theme. Like any group, we have discussions, but everyone tries to share different things. But we are not going to restrict ourselves just doing one thing, but you can share whatever you feel like is important to the group. Apart from that, there will be a theme. Like this week, we had a copywriting theme for hashtag. The same way for the group also, we'll have the same theme as the hashtag. So that will help getting content for hashtag also, and also that will help us drive a focused discussion.
That's a great idea.
So next week we'll have a Google Ads discussion. Let us say we'll have Google Ads. Then people will talk about Google Ads. If they find something around other place, they will try to share it to the group. That way it will be. I thought, let me try. Let us try and see how does it work and all. So that's one thing, is one more initiative I'm having for this thing. So weekly theme, and this next week theme is for hashtag is Instagram marketing. So if few people know anyone who is on Instagram, please let me know. I'll reach out to those people and I'll ask them to contribute. Yeah.
That would be the next highlight, because now all the TikTok people are converting into Instagram. So you'll be flooded with the messages of Instagram marketing.
Yeah, but we are going to pick up the people who are already in the game, not the people who are just trying to pick up or take advantage of TikTok, because TikTok will again come back. I understand TikTok will again come back.
Do one live on TikTok also, no? At least like talk about that. How did you do your journey and all that stuff? It's in remembrance of the platform, maybe. I don't know.
someone has Instagram or TikTok, I am happy to go on their channels and talk, because I love to get on other people's channels also. But no one is asking me to
Right.
come for an interview, and because I'm only doing interviews, na? So people think this guy will not come. This is only busy running the channel or a group.
You want to do interview? I'll do one interview with you. Go over there.
Yeah, I am also ready for it.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
Let's
Yeah,
give it a
sure.
headline.
Why
Let's give it a
restrain
headline.
ourselves? No.
Let's give
I'm
it a
always
headline.
ready. I'm always ready. Actually, I like this kind of discussions, and I enjoy the discussions. So that way, I'm joking, because on Instagram I can't do, because I don't know Instagram
No,
much.
that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. You know email, right? You know email, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know much about email and all that. I mean, I know what to write. It's just that the strategy of it, I don't understand the whole soap opera sequence and stuff. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to write there? If you give me the topics of particular emails, I'd be able to write more stuff. But it's just that, oh shit, what am I supposed to write now in the fourth sequence? That's where I kind of, get lost. Or maybe I need to work more. So
Yeah,
that's
email
my
marketing
weak
is
point.
one thing I took advantage of. I could really do good at that part, and I believe email marketing is one thing which I will not leave, even if it is costly for me, because that
Okay.
has given me the highest ROI, and I believe in most of the industries it will give highest ROI if you use it in the right way. That's all. And we need to be
Right.
patient, and we need to keep hustling about it. So
Makes sense.
apart from the weekly theme, we have one more thing, which is
Very interesting.
which
Yes.
is Nick Marketers Showcase. Uh, Here the showcase thing comes where you are a marketer, you can showcase your product, you can showcase your ebook, you can showcase your online course, you can showcase your service, you can showcase your offering. Let us say you offer a 30 minutes free consultation call to IT, IT people, IT professionals.
Right.
If you're offering
Right.
30 minutes free consultation call to coaches, or you offer 30 minutes free consultation call to marketing professionals working in MNCs, it can
Right.
be as clear and as straight as that. So you can offer a free or a paid product, but you can we'll showcase it, and we'll amplify it, because one person sharing it, one person is putting his products is not a big game. But when 10, 15, 20 people starts putting that, so one person, that guy will actually put on social media or somewhere, they come here and see, they will along with that product, they will see your product also. And someone coming to
Right.
see your product, along with your product, they will see means other products also. So this is
Right.
totally free of cost, and we will give
Right.
this a lot of exposure in the Nick Marketers homepage itself. I will be having below that hashtag above the fold lead magnet. We have this Nick Marketers showcase. Sometimes I may put it above the showcase also to give it the advantage. Once they click on that
Right.
showcase call to action, they will be taken to a separate landing page wherein all the showcase will be there. So this is one thing which will help, which I think which will be highly beneficial for marketers as well as uh, digital marketing agency owners, the freelance marketers or digital marketing agency owners. And a lot of friendship can
Right.
happen between agency owners and freelance marketers that way. So this is one thing I'm very hopeful and aiming big at, and let us see how it happens. And if anyone is seeing this video and all who wants to showcase the products, can reach out to me, and I'll share the details. How to reach out to me? It's very easy. I'll share my WhatsApp number straight away. So I don't think there will be any confusion. I'm sharing the WhatsApp number straight away in the live session, Facebook, and so one thing will be there, like we'll be deciding on some products we may not showcase because it doesn't lack the quality, or we'll be verifying things because we want to be genuine, and we want to be seen as a good person, not as persons who are trying to sell something, only selling. It's
Right.
not that. We are okay to put paid products also here, but we just verify what is the product, what are they providing, and all. That's one
Right.
thing we have.
Makes sense.
finally as a part of the social media day, we are trying to have a WhatsApp group wherein we will have many people like Nick Marcus Facebook group. They can join the WhatsApp group, and some discussion. Sometimes what happens is Facebook is limiting the reach of the people. So through WhatsApp, when we want to send reach out to people fast, and we want to send an immediate message like this live session, I created an event, and out of 243 people, only 14 people said they're going. It generally what Facebook is doing is showing to people who are engaging more in the bookmarkers group.
Of course.
So I think it would have shown to only 30, 40 people. Whereas in WhatsApp group, if you have a WhatsApp group, we have that advantage and luxury of having more people seeing it and more people attending it, and that way I thought we'll have a group. And
than that, Gordon, we can say like this. See, people who are seeing Facebook or not, but daily they will check within 15 minutes WhatsApp once.
Yeah, WhatsApp is now important. WhatsApp is now important because WhatsApp, banks are also using WhatsApp to send the messages.
Yes,
So,
yes.
I think in some time banks SMS will be replaced. I think I'm pretty sure on that.
Right. Try Telegram also if you guys can, because I've seen, and this is with my clients, I don't know whether it's going to work with you or not, but it's just that some people, they don't want to reveal their numbers, and therefore they disagree to become a part of any group, any public group or any private group whatsoever. So what happens is, instead of doing that, you might want to create a Telegram channel or a Telegram group, not channel, where people can be a part of that, and your objective is getting fulfilled anyway. Whenever you post before you going live, people will read there also. So I'm just saying you can either explore both or you can explore only WhatsApp. Totally up to you.
WhatsApp will be there.
Think about that for a moment.
But Ravi, I will consider your suggestion because Telegram also Telegram has its own advantages. While we want to broadcast to a larger audience, we have that advantage. The group limit is much higher and all. There are some good advantages over there, but some people don't use it. That's one drawback only. That's the only drawback.
That's also there.
But still, I think we can have it. We can have it for some. We can have it.
So when you guys grow big, which I'm assuming is gonna happen pretty soon.
Definitely.
Right? Then you're gonna do Telegram, I think.
Yeah. Hope your words will come true, and I'm very bullish on this. We'll grow fast because I'm consistent, and people like you joining here and all, I think it's amplifying. And one thing I discovered is being consistent is very important. Because we experiment a lot, but we have a lot of talent, but we need to be consistent. That's the thing. So finally we came to the end of the session, but what we're left with is the hashtag launch. So I would like to show you the copy now. Before I show you the copy, I want to play that video which I like very much. To have some energy and fun. I'll share my screen just for a minute. Anmol and Ravi, you please mention when you are able to see the screen.
Yeah, sure. It's loading for me.
Yeah. It's loading, for me as well.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. Yeah.
See?
Click on play.
Yeah, this is the old video. I could not make a video, add this copy, but just have a...
Oh,
it went away. All right, that's quite catchy.
Video looks nice. Yeah. Like some hashtag party launch is happening or something.
Right.
Awesome. Looks really cool, man. Did you create that?
Yeah. And that's very simple. I created that with Canva. That's all.
Wow.
That's great. That's great.
And now,
That's
right now,
amazing.
we have three. Now I had
Three
a
versions of it.
page for library, hashtag library,
Oh, wow.
wherein each week's copy will be available. Like it will go down and down, and once it reaches some more, like we'll have a monthly archive, and
Right.
let's see, goes to an yearly archive slowly. That's how.
Yeah. Pretty
You
fair.
can even categorize it based on the themes as well, because ultimately there are not a lot of big terms in digital marketing. There are
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
10 to 12.
Yes. We'll do that. So now, whoever actually subscribes or whoever is getting into the subscription thing, they will get access to this page, this URL, wherein they can download
Right.
this hashtag. If without subscription, also they can download. There is no such this thing. But someone who wants
Yeah.
to not miss it, and every week they want this to be sent to their email list, they can subscribe to the hashtag. That is in
Right.
the homepage of Niche Marketers.
Correct.
It's a bit slow actually. Yeah. This is the homepage. So here, if someone subscribes here, they will be receiving all the copies.
Great. That's great.
Now we are downloading it and see. Yes, here you go. So we have all the 4 guys, and so I did not ask you guys your favorite copywriting tools. I could try to get some, try to just compile some.
Right.
How about we
And
reveal it right now for the people who have stayed it till the end?
sorry, you want to read it?
No, I'm saying how about we reveal the tool that we use, for the people that have stayed till the end.
Who stayed till the end? Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Good
about to
idea.
ask you. We'll do it in a couple of minutes. That also.
Sure.
I was about to ask you guys, and I got sidelined actually about that. I felt this tool Hemingway was also a good tool. I tried it just today only.
Hemingway. Yeah.
It's a good tool.
And I was talking about this guy in a copywriting course.
Right.
And this guy is really incredible with a lot of information he provides. He's very actionable. What's the advantage of this guy is for people who are new to copywriting, for those people, these persons' articles and all website is quite resourceful.
Yeah.
And
True.
one more website is Five Files. You might would have come across this.
Five Files. Yeah.
Yes.
Files for copywriting.
I visit this a lot. Yeah. Five Files for copywriting.
I felt this was quite easy to grasp the information very fast.
Yeah.
That's one thing. So coming
to Five Files also have these old sales letters.
Right.
Have you seen those?
Yes.
Yeah, there are many. Actually, what I did is I selected the copywriting category.
Yeah.
And I tried, then these things have come up. And there are, it is for all the marketers can use it. It's very useful actually.
Yep.
And coming to Uma Madhavi, she wrote a very detailed topic, everything you know to know about copywriting. Like it's a quite exhaustive one, but I felt it was to the point for the specific things she mentioned. And so after that we had.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's quite lengthy. I told you, like copywriter.
That's a list post itself.
Yeah. Anmol's copy was about copywriting for businesses.
Right. Awesome.
And
his style. Provide me your feedback after this.
His style was copywriting. His style, I liked his style of breaking the things.
Yeah.
To make things easy, and it's similar to Ravi's style also. And here comes Ravi's. And Ravi was the person who stick to my guidelines quite near, but there is no regrets. So why do some marketers find it hard to retain clients? So he made it very clear by writing 5 steps, I think 6 steps. The 6 steps are also very actionable. I find it very useful because these type of things will come up from experience. And if someone somewhere Ravi might not be writing it, but here he has shared his information. That's the advantage of having something on a magazine, and also where we are trying to condense the information and try to give the cream of it. And then comes writing from Shravani Sandeep. So she was also mentioning about 5 reasons why copywriting sells. So her article was also very exhaustive, in detail, and we have to look at it and see. And coming to freebies of the week, I tried to add some freebies of the week. Copywriting, they're related to copywriting. Only first one is about LinkedIn, because first thing why I put is many copywriters can reach out to clients through LinkedIn. That's the reason I actually put this one as something relevant. All others I tried to stick to kind of copywriting things. So there are free Udemy courses. These courses are available for free. Free means they're not bad. They're not bad courses. They're really good courses, because I've also put the ratings, number of ratings, and the rating. What's the rating? Average rating, and number of students enrolled. And sometimes I also mention the content duration. And there is something very interesting: effective copywriting basics for entrepreneurs. That's one thing is here. Like for entrepreneurs, someone has made a course, effective copywriting.
Awesome.
And this is great research, Govardhan.
Yeah.
I want to make it's available now, so it's easily people can download it. They can start reading. And I try to pick up things which are useful and good. It's not like free means we are giving anything else.
Right.
And I think this is AppSumo is giving a gig mindset ebook. I felt that this is kind of relevant, where copywriting is one kind of a gig. If you want to be a gig person, that's where I try to pull this here. And this is copywriting course by Copyblogger. There is a free course, so people who want to enroll can enroll. And free copywriting course by Nivelle Madura. That's the copywriting guy I'm talking about. And he has also put a master spreadsheet wherein he put all the resources, and he gave in very good navigation. What I liked is very good navigation. So please have a look. There is some lifetime deal. Say like there is a marketing software. Some agencies can benefit from it. So I just put here. One of the niche marketers was having this, and he is moving on to GrowFunnels. So he wants to sell this off. And this is available on $99 per month subscription, but he has got it as a lifetime deal, so he want to sell it off for a one-time price of $500. Anyone who is interested in the agency guy can get in touch with me, and I can negotiate a deal for them.
Okay, awesome.
This is actually including online course creation thing, funnels, and webinar and meeting platform combined. So they're coming up with something like selling platform also.
Okay.
Seems like a good deal.
Great.
Yeah, good deal for agency, someone who's dealing now. For them, it can be a good.
Right.
And so here we have all the contributors. So Nick Marcus wants to thank all the contributors. Really, from bottom of my heart, I thank you all, guys.
It's our pleasure as well, Govardhan. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thanks for having us. Really had a really great time talking about copywriting, talking about the love of our life.
Yeah. People can reach out to people like their websites. I put mostly the websites of the contributors here. They can reach out to them. If anyone wants to get contact details, also they can message me and I can directly send. And Anmol and Ravi, you're free to share your contact details in the webinar and the chat box, and also anyone who wants to come in touch with you can come in touch with you.
Sure.
And if you want to subscribe to magazine, there are different options. There's a QR link. So,
so where does this QR link go? If I scan the code,
go to main page only of Niche Marketers. So here the About World page is there. No?
Yeah.
Here it will.
Okay. Got
They
it.
can click on this simply.
Awesome, man. That's great.
So that's it today, guys. And we had quite few announcements, and I think we did not bore you. And we had one question from Subhenduji. I would definitely take it personally, but I would like to ask Anmol and Ravi your valuable inputs also. We may also connect on a call also separately for this.
Sure.
Sure.
He has got a question. Subhenduji has got a question.
Okay.
Subhenduji, I think you are online now. If you are online, please type a hi message so that we'll answer the question.
Where is it? Where is the question? Is it on group or webinar chat?
It's on the chat. It's on the webinar chat itself, Ravi.
Webinar chat, I will say, actually they're trying to recruit a good technical copywriter. So what do you suggest we should ask in an interview so that we could evaluate the candidates perfectly well? This is not an easy question, but if you can add, you can you want to think for some time. You keep thinking, and I'll add few things. I'll add just 1 or 2 points. Meanwhile, you can also frame your answer to just tell what.
I'll just have to leave for about 1 minute. I'll just come. All right.
Sure, no problem. So, Subhenduji, as far as I am concerned, I think good technical copywriter, you're using the word technical in the sense, there I think it's about technical means it's in your subject, like.
Yeah, probably in that subject only. But then, one is, I would say, if you're looking for a technical copywriter, find someone who's passionate about that particular stuff that you're trying to sell. If you are a SaaS-based product, okay, if you're a SaaS product and you know somebody who writes about SaaS products, then that would be a perfect fit for you to hire. Or always ask for a sample copy. That will probably differentiate between the copywriters or wannabe copywriters and the real ones who are actually writing stuff. So that is my take on it. You can add more to that, Govardhan, if you want.
Actually, the challenge here is
to add one thing.
Yes.
So Subhenduji, so the thing is, when I was approached once by a person who wanted to employ me for his company, and he didn't even stop at the sample work. He asked me to show the results of my copy. So I told him that I ran Facebook ads to it. So he wanted me to prove it to him. That whether I have generated leads from it or not, and what was the click-through rate and what was the conversion rate. So after that he decided to take me in. So that's also one thing that you can do. Yeah. Now you can.
Do you want to come on cam or speak? If you speak, it will be more effective. This discussion can be more effective. Yeah. Okay. 1 minute, Subhendu.
I'm kind of stuck here in my phone where I'm in the chat box and I'm not able to go back and see your faces in my phone.
Okay.
Some weird shit is happening here right now.
Yeah, Subhendu is coming live. Hi, Subhenduji.
Hi, everyone. Such a nice session today. I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of the discussion. Every bit.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And really, I'm happy to see you after quite a long time. I think 7 or 8 months. We met in the time.
Absolutely. No, I think we are getting accustomed to seeing each other online rather than offline because, nobody is going outside these days. The only people you see outside are the people you don't know. So,
this is the new normal, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Sure. I think thank you both Ravi and also Anmol and Govardhan, of course. Some of good inputs. I mean, I do not want to really go in to that level. Then I could ask somebody to ask him to write a copy and then ask him to probably show me results from that. It would be probably asking a little bit too much for to anybody. So I was just kind of trying to understand how do we see some of these people when we give an assignment, they do it on their own. They can have access to. While everybody would actually give in their best shot, but then there can be some inputs coming in from multiple sources. for just of that interview thing, right? So how do we really, we want to hire somebody who has that intent to work, who has that intent to, who understands how do you present things well, and we really want to guide the right guy. So that's why, because I thought that all of you are into copywriting and have been in this area for some time, have done business in the area, so you would know better what are some of the things which can evaluate, help us evaluate people well. So yeah.
Subhenduji, actually, I would like to emphasize a few things here. Here Anmol and Ravi are professional copywriters, whereas we are trying to get a person to work as he's an employee for a company which is having some domain knowledge also. So
Okay.
if you are means my thought process I am telling you, like technical and a software testing person. So the software testing person is answerable to whom? He is answerable to software testing.
No, so as a company, Cignity does software testing, right? So all of our ads, all of our landing pages, everything has to be related to software testing. Now, some of the large companies, such as you take any large US company, a retail company or an airline, right? All of these guys, we provide software testing services for them. It's a services company. It's not a product company. So, so somebody who is able to understand the area software testing and how that is applied to different industries, that person is a really good fit. So he has to talk about how testing is going to be of help to that company. You're getting me? So that is what we have to evaluate in the person.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to tell is like the right person may be person who worked in a role where who evaluates the software, not software testing, like your buyer persona. Like you're selling some services to the buyer persona. So that person is already in the shoes. He knows the pain points of others. So he might be in a better position to write a better copy than the person who is actually doing the service. That's my mindset. But again, that can be a chance that who is really providing the service also will have that mindset because they are receiving feedback from the clients, so they know their pain points. So here I think empathy and the person's observing nature, everything goes in role, but all this we cannot evaluate in an interview. It's very 30 minutes interview. We cannot definitely evaluate. That goes. This type of qualities are very important. Anmol, you want to add something?
Yeah, something that might help is that, as Ravi might also have suggested about the sample work. So if the sample, talks to one person, one customer, if the copy that he has written, if he's selling something, if he's selling a product, then if it is talking to one person itself and you are sold on the copy, right? That even if you are not that much interested, but after reading the copy, you think that yes, this can be of use to me. If that kind of a person comes to you, then I don't know about the human resource quality that person must possess, but the copy part is sorted. Right?
True.
And a good copywriter, from my perspective, is someone if you are the owner of the company, if you are a service provider, then if you just give me the feedback of the client, that what all challenges has he been facing, or if he has given you some bad feedback or good feedback, and based on the criticisms that he has given you, then I can try to find out the pain points and then how you can improve your service as well and then market it to the other people.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
One more quality I will tell Subhenduji. If the guy is active on social media, if he's a software testing domain guy, and if you see his social media profile, I'm hearing my echo actually.
Okay, let me mute myself if that will.
I'm not sure. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Means for me it's okay. Okay, thank you. So one thing what I can tell is to be in an indirect way, the person should be in your domain. Obviously, you should understand your domain, or else you can be a copywriter for your business definitely. So it will be very advantage. So if that guy copies, if he has a own blog, it's very good. But I don't think you'll find someone. It's like something you're expecting too much. That might not be a real case scenario, ideal scenario. but there is a possibility that the guys are having social media handles. If these guys are posting anything on the LinkedIn profile, or how do they write their profile, or how do they post some posts in the social media, so that knack somewhere you can pick up if he's having some knack on that. But I'm not sure that it will be really possible or it can be happening. But that can be one check which we can do, like what he is doing there.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you, Govardhan. Thanks, Anmol. Thanks, Ravi.
Thank you, Subhendraji.
Thank you for joining. And Govardhan, can you please make Ravi the
Yeah, I'm adding him also.
Yeah. So, are there any questions on Facebook, Govardhan? We are already at 11:04. We are, quite ahead of the time.
Yeah, extended like anything. I don't know. Wait, what happened is 1 minute.
It's kind of a good, case study for people who will see the recording that a real time scenario of a requirement of a copywriter came up within the webinar itself. So it's going to be good for people who watch the recording.
It's like, see, niche marketers, we are having such kind of people. If such kind of people are there, then only it can be done. Ravi, I have added you. I made you a presenter. You can get back, and we are going to say at least bye together.
I guess he's facing some issues.
Yeah, he's actually on mobile as well as this. So I think I added on mobile also. Let me check. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah, I'll try to add him on mobile also. Ravi, you can try from mobile as well as system now.
Yes, we are having him now.
I think he is able to join from mobile only. Yeah, we did not miss you a lot, but yeah, we missed you for some time. So
we can't hear you, Ravi. There's an audio problem, I guess.
Not able to hear me, is that?
Now we can.
I was saying I love Q&A parts, and that's exactly where I get kicked out. Not fair, guys. Not fair. No, I think there was some problem. I was stuck. I was not able to see your faces. I was kind of stuck in the chat zone only, and I was trying to get back.
What happens is this on mobile, it generally has some issues. People have told me, but I have to go to a better platform. I'm using it because it's bundled with my email marketing as well as everything. I pay for this. So I'm not trying to get another subscription model where we use it useless. But soon I'm thinking about Zoom, because everyone is habituated to Zoom now. And everyone is very comfortable doing a Zoom call. Now people are using the word Zoom for video calls. That's how the things are. And you people say we are Zooming.
Zoom machale.
This is a WhatsApp group now here for all to join.
All right. Do we have more questions, or are we done?
I think because this is not typically kind of a webinar thing. Actually, there are questions, but I think we will not be able to take much. Sriram Ganeshan from Facebook is asking, can you please talk more about the frameworks for copywriting and content marketing? The frameworks, the word itself, I think it's very open-ended. What do you think? We'll be able to answer it.
There are so many frameworks, but I think what I can do is I can share a link with you, which I think shared maybe months back in some group, some or the other digital marketing group.
I have one of my own websites, if that's okay to share.
Yeah. Do that.
So I have shared it here. Govardhan, you'll have to share it in Facebook group, I guess.
Oh, you have that same title and all.
And there is a complete list of frameworks, copywriting frameworks on copyhackers.com. And just going out through that one article, you'll understand that how many different types of copies are there, and what elements should a landing page possess, what elements should a blog post possess. So that's quite a helpful article.
Yeah, great. That's great. One thing we can do is, Ravi and Anmol, if you want to share any more resources or anything, you can share it with me. Anyhow, after the I have to send the magazine to the hashtag subscribers. So I will send the download link to the hashtag library as well as the resources you share. So that way it will be.
We'll do that.
Sure.
We'll do that.
So thank you guys. I think we had quite a good time, and luckily we have people who are staying for such long time. I'm just so fortunate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Had a great time with you all.
Thank you everyone at Facebook as well.
If you guys watch the live on, if you guys watching it on a replay in the Facebook group, just give a hashtag replay so that we know you watched the content. We know that there was reach. Even if you don't want to comment, that's okay. But just give a hashtag replay so that we all know. And if you have more questions, keep commenting on that. We'll probably, I and Anmol and even Govardhan will try to respond as much as we can in the comment section.
Yeah, sure, Ravi. It was really great. Anyone who's watching in the live session, we had so many interesting things in Niche Marketers. So we have new initiatives, new group members, new pre-approvals and new systems are in place to make the group more value added. Like it should be adding value to each and every one of us. And finally, I would like to tell Ravi and Anmol, if you know any Instagram guys, please let me know. These are good Instagram marketers to contribute for Instagram marketing, because this week I have to have more contributors, or I need to contribute, get a lot of information, because I'm not at all good at Instagram marketing. That's what I can proudly say.
Right. Not a problem. I'll give you references after the live then.
Yes, me too.
Saurav Jain for Instagram.
Saurav Jain is kind of the most sought after, Instagram expert.
Instagram, yeah. He's good with that.
Nilesh, Saurav Jain and all the big brothers are there, but I'm not looking for the big brothers. To be open and frank enough, because big brothers, they know the game. If you call them also, generally they hesitate to come, and they see the numbers and all. So it's not that all might be like that. Some might be okay to come and all. I'm okay with it, but I wanted to come out with people who do well, who are doing everything good, and who are like me. I'm not trying to look for all the big bees. If you want to just call big bees, then that's a different ball game. I'm not about just inviting a person from somewhere. I want to invite people who can work together and be cohesive. That's what I'm trying to do. So I want to make it clear. It's not like I'm against it or I'm for it. I just want to make clear like what I'm looking for. Thank you very much, Nilesh, for understanding and recommending about Saurav Jain. If you know anyone else also, please let me know. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Anmol. Thank you all.
Yeah.
And
great session.
Next Monday on #4. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.